What's up guys, this is Astranox. In this video, I'm going to be talking about gear. This is going to be a gear guide, so it's going to cover stuff like, should you sell the item, should you sell this piece of gear, should you upgrade it, aka enhance it, or feed it. There's going to be a point where you're like, should I just feed this piece or continue enhancing it? There might be a lot of times where you thought about it. So I'll talk about that stuff. I'll talk about where you should be farming gear first, and then I'll transition into like what kind of stats you should look for, stat combination that are good, the ones that are bad. Yeah, I'll talk about basically like when you should enhance, when you should stop before you start wasting a lot of gold and materials. So if you like this video, hit the like button and also hit the subscribe button if you still haven't. Now, for where you should be farming, I'll try to go over this quick. This is the best place for me to explain this stuff. Set bonuses: Wyvern, Golem, Banshee, and Angelic Hunt. So the most value, most stats is from Wyvern. These set bonuses are really good. I mean, they're the best on top of Banshee, So unless you're going for unique effects like lifesteal, counter, Angelic Hunt, I mean, the immunity set you can obtain from the raid Achates in a normal secret shop vendor can get you like your second piece of immunity set. The first piece you could get the weapon from the vendor in the Achates raid. You could get the helm or the ring from there as well. In hell you can get immunity, unity as well, and rage. Maybe you want to push in PvE and have as much damage as possible with rage set. There are some situations, but for pure stat value, Wyvern is definitely your go-to place. So the reason why is because look at these set bonuses. Critical hit chance 12% increase. That's item level 85, you can roll 5% critical hit chance. So this is 2.4 rolls. Hit set, that's 2.5 rolls. 8%, 8%, 4%. That's 2.5 rolls already. That's a lot of value. Speed set, we all know how hard it is to stack speed. Rolls between 1 and 5. 5 once in a blue moon, basically. Let's be realistic and talk about between 1 and 4. Item level 85 can roll 5 speed initially. And on rolls afterward, but the chance is so minuscule, I don't even want to talk about it. So let's say the range is between 1 and 4. So 25% speed on a base 100 speed hero, you are getting a lot of speed. 25 is gonna be over 6 rolls worth of speed if we're talking about 4 speed rolls, right? So that is a lot of value right there. Effectiveness 2.5 rolls, critical hit chance 2.4 rolls. Let's move on to Golem. Health and defense sets 15% only. You can roll between 4 to 8% health percentage, defense percentage, attack percentage, effectiveness, effect resistance. So 15% is not even 2 rolls. It's a 2-piece set, but still hit set, you're getting 2.5 rolls. Attack set, you are not getting 5 rolls worth of attack percentage even. So yeah, you are losing some value there. So in Wyvern, speed is definitely king in a lot of stuff in the game. PvP can be dictated by speed. Who goes first wins the battle. Happens a lot of times. So yeah. Banshee resist set, 2.5 rolls worth of stats. That is really good. Destruction set is almost 6 rolls worth of critical hit damage because you can roll 7% critical hit damage on item level 85. So yeah, almost 6 rolls worth. Lifesteal set and counter set are unique features and they can be really powerful. Lifesteal, you can have some good sustain in PvE. In PvP can be useful in some scenarios as well. Counter set, a lot of randomness, in PvP. If you counter the enemy, it's beautiful. It's just passive. It's When it happens, it's great, especially when you have a very solid skill 1. Azimanak Hunt, Unity set and Rage set, and Immunity set, all that, those are unique features. But I would say for pure value, you would farm Wyvern and then transition into Banshee if you need some of these sets. Or you could just stick to Wyvern and just farm it forever, basically. The thing is, in Golem, I mean, these set, like attack percentage set versus destruction set, you have to balance your attack and your critical hit damage. If you have too much of one and not that much of the other one, you're not going to get so much value. You kind of want to balance both. Critical hit damage caps at 300%. So, yeah, maybe the destruction set will push you. You're going to lose some critical hit damage because you are going over 300, but you can't. The cap is 300. So keep that in mind. So yeah, that's gonna be it for where to farm. You can get some item level 88 gear from the arena. The problem is that the gear in there has effect resistance. Yeah, that garbage effect resistance on your damage dealers, on a lot of heroes that don't need it. It's definitely unfortunate, like a piece of boot like that. Speed set, but they have attack percentage on the main stat. So much, you know, effect resistance on those pieces. It's quite unfortunate, and it doesn't start with perfect rolls. But on a speed set with 4 speed at the start, that's very good though. But the other stats, critical hit chance does have maximum roll there, but we're talking about mid rolls for health, effect resistance, effectiveness here is at 5%. So you do lose some value initially. You see critical chance here is 4% instead of 5%. Critical hit damage is 5%. The cap is 7%. So yeah, you lose value, and then you have combinations like effect resistance and effectiveness together. I mean, my God, you have both together, and not only that, it's on an attack set with an attack percentage main stat. The thing is, you're getting that piece to hopefully, you know, not roll into effect resistance, but the other ones. Hopefully it's crit and crit damage, but we all know how that goes, yeah, right? So yeah, item level 88 can definitely be very powerful if you are lucky. And also Asmakalis, sorry, Hell difficulty item level 88, you can get some really solid pieces there. And when they're gonna rework this place, the first kill on each boss gonna reward us with specific stats. Gonna be like I don't know if it's gonna be perfect rolls, but it's gonna be item level 88. It might be perfect rolls with nice combination of substats and set bonuses with main stat. So there is that very powerful gear indeed. So let's move on to enhancement. Oh my God, enhancing gear. Good lord. Yeah, let's talk about that. When should you sell, enhance, or feed a piece, right? So when you have a flat stat that is not speed, that kind of ruins the thing in a lot of cases. On a heroic piece, when you do get a flat stat that is not speed, it's quite unfortunate. The piece, in most cases, unless you're gonna gamble, unless it's a speed set with speed roll, you want to gamble for a bunch of speed, see if you're lucky, right? Then like you might use these pieces in early game, maybe in mid game. In late game, you kind of just ditch them. You ditch those pieces unless you want to gamble. But in most cases, gambling is there's so much gambling already in the game. You have to roll into the value. You have to roll between the minimum and maximum value, and then that's a whole RNG fest right there. Yeah, you're gonna lose gold and resources in that in most cases. Lifesteal set with effect resistance. You need to deal damage. Damage dealers with effect resistance doesn't work so well. In most cases, there's some that can work. Warrior with Strike Gauntlet. You know, you got survival there, speed. It could be good. The values are good. High rolls on that. It's heroic, so you know the fourth substats will come in at plus 12. So you already lose one roll. So you lose value there. And then when you reach plus 15, you might just roll into that fourth substat that is trash. It might be flat, and oh my god, it ruins the whole thing. And it happens later, which is really unfortunate because that's so expensive. It costs you double the amount it costed to bring your item to plus 12. When you go from plus 12 to plus 15, it is definitely rough. So there's a lot of times where your heroic piece, you'll be like, it's so good, the values are so high, and then I reach plus 12 and the substat is trash. So many times you're just gonna keep that piece maybe the way it is, just wear it for now, and then you're gonna get rid of it in like late game. You're gonna feed it into another piece to give it a lot of experience, transfer some of the experience that you dumped into it. So there is that. You're gonna be leaving those at plus 12 for a while. Like this piece here, this is, I was banking on speed, effect resistance, and defense, but it's plus 5. It got a roll into crit damage. Let's just see what happens. But of course, epic item level 85, especially if you can use every substat in there, or like win-win. It's only a matter of rolling into the substat that you prefer, that is a high priority for your hero, and hitting those high values. So it's definitely not easy. 3796. So 2 speed, that's a, well, mid roll. If we're talking about between 1 and 4, let's forget 5 speed roll because it's near impossible. Yeah, speed, very hard to get a high value, like a lot of speed across all your gear. It's very, very hard. Minimum roll of 1 speed. Very annoying when you are hitting your plus 12, plus 15, and you get those 1 speed rolls. My god. Item level 70. Early game, yes, you're gonna use it. Mid game, you can still use them. In late game, you have to be extremely like, what's the word? Like difficult when it comes to choosing your piece, because it has to be exactly the substat that you need. If it's epic, yeah, it does get more points there. If it has high values as well. So epic, item level 70 with the right substat combination, with especially with high values, you might even use those for in late game. So you have to be quite difficult when it comes to choosing those pieces, because if it's like a heroic piece item level 70, even when it has like perfect the right substats, maybe the values are not high enough, dump it. Just sell it, don't even enhance it. Unless, yeah, even if it's speed set and it has like a 4 speed in there and you want to gamble, you could bring it to plus 3. Very cheap to bring your piece to plus 3. It's fine. Gamble to plus 3. If it goes your way, if you like it, bring it to plus 6. But that's the point. That's the point where you have to decide. Now, am I really gonna enhance this thing? Like, will I really enhance it to plus 9? Is it gonna make, like, it's gonna help any of my heroes? And in most cases, it's not gonna roll where you want. It's not gonna roll the value that you want, especially when it's item level 70. That's gonna be for early game. But let's talk about 85, right? Item level 85 plus. A lot of times, plus 6 is gonna be when you're gonna be like, my god, I have to, get rid of it. Get rid of that piece. This thing here, why did I even enhance that? I don't even know. I don't even know why I enhanced that thing. There's some questionable moves, I guess, that I've done. Sometimes that's the problem. Sometimes you have some really bad drops, or maybe you just want to gamble that plus 3, but if you have some really bad drops and you have a lot of feeding materials that you're getting from unrecorded history, you're farming your catalysts, that's more in early game and mid game. You're farming fodders to 6-star heroes. If you're a free-to-play player like me, I have some insane luck. You might have noticed my Moonlight 5-star heroes in the lobby, but I have some insane amount of luck on my account number 3 compared to account 1 and 2. But yeah, it's definitely what was I even talking about? I lost my train of thought. This piece right here has the right substats. It's gonna come back to me. The substats are good, but the rolls are so garbage. It's item level 70 as well, so I'm just gonna dump it. But it has the right substats. It could have been like really good at item level 85 if the values were higher too. But if it was item level 85 with those substats the way it is now, I would enhance it to see where it goes. But it's just like it could roll high. You could try to bring it at +3, but I have to be more strict. I have to be more strict because there's so much gear. There's so much gear. But I was talking about if you're having some issues to get some gear that are worthy of being enhanced, then you can do some crafting. You can do some crafting at that point, and then you might get a solid piece in each of your item slot. Let's say it's weapon, helm, chest, and boots, and then you could just grind out in the adventures on recorded history if you need some fodders. But free-to-play players, you will need fodders from farming adventures on recorded history. If you are spending money in the game, you might be summoning a lot and you don't even need to worry about fodders. You can just like 5-star, 6-star your heroes. Life is good. Much easier. So yeah, this guide works for free to play, works for pay to win, or like players that spend money. So let's go over some of the items that I have, right? This is destruction with crit damage, health, and effectiveness. All can be used on a damage dealer. It's item level 70 though, epic. You have to see where it rolls. Do I need destruction set? You have to. That's the thing though. There's some sets that you don't need as much as other ones. So you have to think about these things. On a damage dealer, like, you want a lot of damage. If you already have effectiveness here, there's a lot of heroes where, as damage dealers, the effectiveness will be useless. So you already lose one stat, and then you might go for pure damage, so the health percentage is a wasted stat as well. It's not wasted. You always need survival, unless you're going for pure burst in PvP, cleave or something like that. But yeah, in PvE, you need to balance your stats, but the effectiveness, it does lose some value there. It's item level 70. The values are not so high, so to start off, it's not so great, right? It could have had, crit damage, attack percentage, and speed. Now we're talking. If it has something like that, it's item level 70, epic. Even if with low rolls, you can just enhance the thing. But this is, especially on a destruction set, it's not looking good enough for me. It really depends on your progression, where you are in the game right now. Now I'm going to go over pieces like one by one, and I'll make some space. At the same time, I'll give you my thoughts when I look at an item and like if I should keep it or get rid of it. We have the combination of effect resistance and effectiveness. I hate that combo. I hate it. It has critical hit chance, which is going to be useless because for me, resist set's going to be like on a supporting hero that can cleanse, that can dispel debuffs off of my team, and they will need some speed and go before the rest of my team, so the rest of my team can actually go. So I need to stack a bunch of effect resistance, and it needs to go up in the 100, at least 150%, right? So I need to be even like as close as 200% as possible. To be honest, on a support, the effectiveness, let's say Angelic Montmorancy, yeah, she can drop asleep, but I'm not going to be stacking effectiveness, so I'm just going to get rid of it, right? I'm going to just give my thoughts real quick. Lifesteal set, effect resistance is going to be on a damage dealer. Effect resistance already cuts a lot of contenders right there, but there is some heroes where you could stack effect resistance on a warrior with Strike Gauntlet and then use a crit damage as well. But the values here, it's not so bad. 5% crit max, 7% crit damage is max. Effect resistance max at 8%. So the value here is, it's okay. It's okay. It's higher than average. And I don't like it. I don't like it. It's heroic. I have to be more strict. Destruction here. On boots, a lot of cases, in PV, you're going to be wearing speed boots in a lot of cases. If you want to go for big numbers, big burst, maybe you're going to be using auxiliary lots to give your combat shrewdness, bring it to 100% so you can cleave, something like that. Then you go with an attack percentage on your boots, but a lot of cases you're going to be running speed boost because it gives you a higher amount of damage done over the course of the battle in PvE, unless you're going for burst. Especially when you have counter set, Elbrus Ritual Sword, things like that triggers, or there's a counter mechanic built into your hero, then you're gonna go with attack percentage boots. But it's item level 70, and I value defense percentage lower than health percentage. So there is that as well. The rolls, they're definitely not bad at all for item level 70. So, I mean, I could keep that piece. I could keep it. It could be that 4th piece to complete my destruction set. And it's also a pair of boots. So it's a piece on the right side, which is much harder to get the right main stat with the right substats, the right combination. Very hard for pieces on the right side. So you don't have to be so strict with pieces on the right side compared to the pieces on the left side, because they are much easier to obtain. And so it's much easier to get a higher amount of value. So when you want to calculate your stats real quick, you could say that a perfect roll is there's different ways to calculate it. I just do it this way. If it's a maximum roll, I'm gonna give it a 1 point, right? So you can also you can calculate, add values together to and use the point system. Like 1 point, let's say effectiveness 6% is not even 1 point. So I add the 6% with the 4% of the health. We have 10%. That's 1.25 point right there. Critical hit damage is 6%. So even if the piece is item level 70, I like to compare it with an item level 85. So I will keep the maximum values of like effectiveness and health percentage at 8% and crit damage at 7%. I will not use the maximum values of item level 70, which is 7% for effectiveness and health. So I like to calculate it this way, so it's easier to get rid of them and not enhance it too far. But by calculating the value of a piece like that, you keep track of how many points you are obtaining, and then you're able to like figure out if you're going to be keeping it or getting rid of it. You will need less points in early game, mid game compared to late game, of course, but you know, that was just to calculate the value. This is the wrong item level. I should have talked about item level 85, but just to give you an example, you can keep using that point system for item level 70. So this is like a bit over 2 points worth of value, when a perfect roll would have started with 8 point worth. If it was like on a heroic piece, you have 3 substats. If they're all like the highest possible rolls, then it's going to be worth like 3 points. So heroic, you have 3 rolls initially, then you can have 5 rolls afterward. So you have a maximum of 8 points. On epic, you're gonna have a maximum of 9 points. So let me just get rid of this and just calculate some more pieces so you guys can understand what I mean. Let's actually get a item level 85. I just keep on enhancing item level 85. Okay, this one. Attack 7%, speed 3, crit chance 4%. You know, these are very close to be maximum rolls. So to be honest, it's almost like it's like 2.5 basically. If I like to calculate this way because it's very fast to calculate compared to maybe you want to go with like doubling the value of speed, and you want to add up all the numbers together and then figure out, like, calculate it this way. Like attack, let's say that 7%, that's 7 points, and then the speed you multiply it by 2, so that's 6 points. You are at 13 points. And then you add the critical hit chance. Actually, the crit chance should be like multiplied by like 1.25 maybe, or 1.3, something like that, because the max roll is 5%. So that's why I kind of like it to I like to calculate it the way I do it, because it becomes much faster. Because when you're enhancing gear, or you want to like get rid of something, you want to do it quick. You don't want to like start pulling out your calculator and your spreadsheets, you know. So that's how I do it. So this is the attack is almost 1 point. Speed, it's like 0.75. The critical hit chance is that's gonna be, since 5 is gonna be maximum roll. Yeah, that's 0.8. So it's like 2.5. It's like 2.5. And to be honest, that's a good start. But it's a resist set. It's a resist set, and those are offensive. Those are offensive substats, but +3 is not gonna break the bank, right? Yeah, 7% attack, but it's the wrong set and it's a heroic piece, so you can be more strict and be like, well, these two things are not gonna work so well. The substats with the set, and then it's a heroic piece. So if it would be epic, you would go for pure value maybe. Like I said, there are some heroes that can use the effect resistance, but it's about using the right combination of stats and not like going all over the place. You need to you can balance your stats too. You can have some pieces that have very high offensive power, crit damage, attack percentage, speed. And then you could have some piece more, like it could be more defensive stats, defense percentage, health percentage, things like that. And then you can just balance the whole thing. And then later on, maybe you get a piece to replace the one with survival with more offensive power. If you're going to go for like a cleave setup, you're going to go first. Or in PV, your survival's high enough, you feel it's good enough, you know, so you just go full on offense. But balancing your stat is a big part of all this. Destruction set, crit damage and speed. You know, beautiful start. The prime is heroic, item level 70. The rolls as well is a problem, you know, so you do lose some value there. It's like I said, this is a piece on the left side, which is much easier to obtain compared to, like, let's say a pair of boots that we saw before. So this one, I'm not even gonna bother with it. I'm just gonna dump it. To be honest, I would value crit damage and attack percentage higher than this one because speed is hard to roll for. So that's some more gambling right there. Resist set, health percentage, effect resistance. That's what I want on resist set. What's up with the crit damage? Now, you've got stuff for survival and you've got stuff for offense on item level 70, and the values, they are a bit higher than average maybe, but I don't like it. It splits up defense and offense. I don't like it. I'm just gonna get rid of it. I need to make space, so gotta be more strict. I'm in late game, so I have to be more strict. Here again, lifesteal set this time. Item level 70, heroic. Values here, the crit is too low. To be honest, I don't like it that much, really. I'm just gonna get rid of it. Because the values are not gonna roll as high as 85, and it's heroic as well. It's definitely not easy, and it's a piece on the left side as well, same as this chest. So I need to get rid of it because I'm in late game. It's gonna be different for you guys. In early game, you can definitely use that. In mid game, definitely has some like, it depends on how it's gonna roll. But late game, you might just see it and be like, forget it. I'm just gonna dump the piece. You know, this one we could just gamble. We could bring some piece to +3 and just see what happens. I could just put 1 because maybe it's like a +3 if it crits. So let's just check. 774. You see that it's already kind of wasted. Now, at +3, +4, should you feed it into another piece or should you just sell it? When you sell, it's gonna be the same. You see, 16,125. So no matter how high it's enhanced to, it will sell for the same amount. But if you do feed it, right, how much will you actually transfer over? So +4, right? This is what it was. I used 2 charms, right? It costed 33,000 gold to get that going. And if you add the price of the piece when you sell it, yeah, you are at, my god, you're at almost 50,000 gold already. 50,000 gold, and that's using charm. If you're using gear, it's gonna cost you twice as much as, I believe, as compared to 33. So you have to keep that stuff in mind. That's +5 though. You see, it's 66,000. It costs you twice as much if you're gonna be using gear to enhance pieces compared to using charm. So all that stuff, materials wasted, gold wasted, and then you have to consider that you're gonna be feeding it, so you're not gonna get the gold from selling it as well. And it's not a charm, it's a piece of equipment, so when you're gonna use that to enhance another piece, you're gonna pay twice the amount. I'm not saying like don't use equipment, but charms of course are more effective. As free to play, you might lean more toward like using charms compared to using gear. To be honest, I just use gear and charms no matter, because you're gonna have quite a bit of gear, and to be honest, you don't want to spend all your life farming on recorded history. You need to do a lot of hunts too. And you might be saving your sky stones if you convert them into energy to farm when there is a 40% gold buff, well 30% gold buff plus the guild buff, so you can get more gold and more crafting materials as well if you both are running at the same time. So there is that. Now if I just use that piece, right, it's +4, and I put it in this one, or is that thing, if I put it by XP, let's find it. Wait, what? Oh, it's locked. It's not. It's a... My god, it's a chest! It's a chest! So... that's what happens. That's what happens. It's right here. So 43,000 gold is gonna bring it to +3. And to be honest, at +3, even +4, you could just sell it for gold. But after that, you have to keep it. Like, even +4, you could just keep it for experience. But this is 2,500 experience worth. It's not that much. This is less than 2 lesser charms. So it's definitely not that much. To be honest, when you do find the right piece of gear, you can go and you'll be happy about it. You go farm some, some charms, farm some equipment to feed into them in on recorded history. So it's not so bad. But yeah, I would say that +3 you can just sell the thing, or you could feed it. It's up to you to decide. To be honest, it's up to you. But remember, item level 85 is gonna be over 15,000 gold. So yeah, there is that. 15,000 gold is not like nothing. So you will decide by yourself, I guess. But if it's item level 70, well, it's not gonna sell for as much. So you can just like feed that. You can just feed it instead at +3 or more. But definitely like +6 and over that, you definitely just feed it into more gear, because there's going to be more experience transferred over. But at +3, it's +4, sorry, it's 2.5 K. It's not that much. If we look for a piece with the +3, spend a lot of time on this. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just see how much experience it is. Should have done that in 2 seconds, actually, my bad. You see, it's barely 2K. It's barely 2K. That's it's just above 1 lesser charm. So, to be honest, I would just like dump it. I would just dump it. But higher than that, yeah, +6 over. Definitely just feed those into like, if it's bad, feed it into something that it's potentially good. Let's keep on going here. Life still set. Now you got effectiveness with survival, crit chance not so high, but the rolls on effectiveness and defense is high. Problems comes down to effectiveness. You're gonna wear that on a damage dealer, and then it's not gonna cover all damage dealers. That's the thing. You might not need that effectiveness, or you might not need that much. You might have enough already, and then it's heroic as well. So you're losing some value, and I mean, it depends where you are in the game. To me, I don't like it. I'm just gonna dump it. So what you want are pieces that will be good on as many heroes as possible. The attack percentage is out of place here. Health percentage, that means you go for survival, or you're gonna wear that on a bruiser that scales off of max health, or you could just have it for a boost in survival, but it's gonna be times 5 at plus 15, so 50% health. You do lose 10% health there compared to item level 85, so there is that. The values are not gonna roll so high because it's item level 70, and you won't get as much value out of attack percentage compared to health percentage on a bruiser, because it's gonna increase your damage. If you scale based on health percentage, you scale based on attack percentage as well, but health will give you survival and damage, and you might get more. You end up getting more damage out of the health on top of the survival compared to attack percentage. You've got speed here on a counter set. I don't like this combination, because on a counter set you can just build your hero, work on the other stats instead of working on speed, because you want that thing to trigger, so the speed goes to waste. So I don't like that. It was the attack percentage, and it was the speed, and it was the item level 70 on top of being heroic. So just giving you guys my train of thought about this whole thing here. Attack percentage on counter set, that is good, but it's item level 70, and it has speed on top of effectiveness, which won't work for every hero. Get rid of that. I mean, it's good I cover item level 70 because we get a lot of items 70, unless you're crafting, of course. Now this one is destruction. Like I said, I'm gonna keep that because it's a pair of boots, and it might be my fourth piece for destruction to complete the set, and it's harder to get solid pieces on the right side, but you know, it depends how it rolls. Let's just give it +3, right? 3, 6, 7. Wow, that was the lowest critical hit damage roll possible. So right now what you can do as well is just unlock a piece that was like, when you brought it to +3, it was like meh. You know, it could have been defense percentage instead of critical hit damage, so it's not so bad. It could have been 4% defense, you know, instead of critical hit damage. The thing as well is that you might need more critical hit chance when you're wearing a destruction set, unless you're going with a critical hit chance necklace. Okay, let's maybe I'll do some jewelry, because the video is getting really long. I'm gonna have to make another part for this. This one, critical hit chance. Now, well, it's item level 70. It is epic, but it has effectiveness. But it's not so bad, because for offensive power, we have critical hit damage, attack percentage, and speed on top of being on a crit set. So, to be honest, in early game, you can definitely use that. In mid game, if it does roll good as you bring it to +3, +6, you can keep on enhancing it. So I'm just gonna keep it there. I'm not gonna lock it, because it's not something like that I feel is like, oh man, I need to keep that thing. It's not a priority. That's the thing. You have to have a list, like a priority list. What I do is that when I enhance gear, like I just sort this by recent, and I just look at my new gear. Another trick to get to make some space is you might sort this by recent, but in the other way. So you have some gear, you see your starter gear, you know. If you have some pieces here that haven't been enhanced, that means, wow, why am I keeping it? Well, why am I keeping this thing, right? So like this I could get rid of. This doesn't have speed on a speed set, and too flat. You know, that's a quick trick to make some space. Like if it hasn't been enhanced, you need to check the piece and question yourself, and go over the thoughts what I've been saying, you know, in the video. Like this one's only +6. It's a hit set with effect, resistance, speed. The attack percentage is out of place. The speed, I mean, if we're gonna calculate value, perfect rolls initially and bringing it to +6. So 3 point for initial substats, then plus 6, so that's 2 rolls. So perfect value is 5 right there. Effect resistance with attack percentage, we're at 17. That's like just a bit over 2 perfect rolls, and the speed is 1.5. So just a bit over 3.5 when maximum is 6 on a hit set. One of the least desired set still has some good value, 20% effectiveness. But to be honest, like I will feed that thing. I will feed that. So I will unlock it and just feed it later. This is there and hasn't been enhanced because we have a mix of, to be honest, it's offense on a defensive set, and the effectiveness, well, might not be useful as well. To be honest, I'm just gonna dump this thing. I don't like the combination with this set. It's item level 70. It's been there for a while. So if I do just sort this by XP, I have a lot of gear that is enhanced to plus 15. This account is just a bit over 6 months old. It's on the Europe server, and I've been doing a lot of min-maxing, playing like crazy, and doing the right moves, right? You can check my other videos, you know, doing Arena, Guild Wars. Yeah, a lot of good information in there. So I will definitely make a second part for this video. This is starting to be really long, and yeah, if you like, pieces on the left side are, like I said, much easier to obtain than pieces on the right side, so you can be more strict with them. But when it comes to pieces on the right side, then like your necklace with critical hit chance, critical hit damage, you know, if you want to wear that on a support, then it's going to be health percentage, defense percentage. On a ring, if you're going with effect resistance on the main stat, then it's preferable to have that on a resist set. If not, well, if you're gonna wear that on a support, on a cleanser, right, then the hit set wouldn't work, but you're gonna have speed. You're gonna have speed set, and maybe then you're gonna have a 2-piece resist set, something like that. You could go triple resist set if you want to stack it as much as possible. There's so many different ways to like build heroes, but you need to make your substats work with your set. And the thing is, there's always, if it rolls well, because it doesn't cost much to bring it to plus 3, even plus 6. If it rolls well, if it has a lot of total value, total stats, then you can match it in a set. You can fit it in another set, even though the substats don't match with the set. Then it could be a piece still that gives you survival for your hero that has too much offensive power but is missing some survival. So very important to do these things. Yeah, I'll definitely make a second part for this video. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think about all this. Of course, it was very long, but it's a lot of information. No, I'm not kidding. You guys know it's a lot of information. This stuff can't be like, I can't transfer that knowledge in 2 seconds, that's for sure. So hopefully this information was helpful to you guys. I'm Astranox. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. Press the bell icon to be notified whenever I release a new video, and check out my other videos. They should be showing up on the screen now. Playlists of all sorts, Guild Wars, best starter guides for fast progression with tips. Also Abyss Floor 62 Plus, and guides, tips, and how-tos. So check those out if you haven't. And good luck with all you do. Peace out for now. This I'm gonna just, you see, like, I'm gonna have to cover pieces on the right side, and you can check my crafting videos. I talk about like stuff like, should I keep that or sell that, and I go over this stuff. So if you want information right now before I make the second part, go check those videos out. They are under my summon and crafting playlist. A lot of them are there, and I will do some crafting videos because I need to craft Banshee sets actually, and I do have the gold. I need to make space, so I'm gonna make a second part for this video in the next few days, so stay tuned for that. All right, peace out for now.